I'm Dr. Sachin Nichite, and in this video I am going to explain you some basics of natural family planning methods. First of all, natural family planning method is a type of birth control method which is based on the timing of intercourse or sex during a woman's menstrual cycle. There is not a single method available. There are a variety of methods on different techniques available. Failure and success of this natural family planning method is based on two factors. One is your ability to understand the signs of ovulation. Ovulation means the release of egg from the ovary. And number two, not to do intercourse during this fertile period, which is calculated from the signs of ovulation. Natural contraceptive methods are not as effective as other contraceptive methods. Every one woman out of 4 women using these methods become pregnant. Certain women are not well suited for natural methods. Women in which pregnancy should not occur because of medical reasons. Women having irregular menstrual periods in which they cannot calculate the fertile period. Women having abnormal uterine bleeding or menstrual problems. Vaginitis, that is infection of the birth canal. In these cases, the nature of vaginal secretions changes. Women having some condition causing fever which changes the body temperature. And finally, women using some medications like thyroid hormones or antibiotics which changes the nature of vaginal secretions. There are around 5 types of natural contraceptive methods. One is basal body temperature method. Second is ovulation method. Third is calendar method. Fourth is symptothermal method. And fifth is lactational amenorrhea method. Basal body temperature method is based on a fact that the basal body temperature of woman increases slightly before ovulation, that is the release of the egg. In this method, woman has to measure the temperature every morning just before getting out of the bed, and she has to plot the temperature readings on a graph. This way she detects the rise in temperature just before ovulation. In this method, woman has to avoid intercourse or sex from the end of menstruation to 3 days after this rise of temperature. The disadvantage of this method is she has to check it every day, and there are certain conditions which will affect the temperature of the body like fever, sleeplessness, insomnia, some medications. The second method is ovulation method, also called as cervical mucus method. In this method, it is based on the fact that around the time of ovulation, the cervical mucus, cervix means the mouth of uterus, the cervical mucus becomes thin and slippery. In this method, woman has to check the cervical mucus daily, and she has to detect these changes. After the menstruation finish, usually there will not be any mucus, it will be dry. Around the time of ovulation, the cervix starts producing thin and slippery mucus. In on particular day, the cervical mucus will be most slippery and wet, that is called as peak day. In this particular method, woman has to avoid intercourse from the onset of cervical mucus to 4 days after the peak day. In symptothermal method, various methods of natural contraception or birth control are combined together. Those are ovulation method, basal body temperature method, and some other signs of ovulation like abdominal cramps, spotting, and the change in position of cervix or the firmness of cervix. In this particular method, the woman has to avoid intercourse from the onset of cervical mucus or the end of menstruation till the 3rd day of increase in temperature or 4th day after the peak day. Calendar method, also called as rhythm method. In this method, woman has to count or record the first day of menstrual cycle for around 6 months. In this method, we need to calculate the fertile phase of the menstrual cycle. To find out that, first you should know that woman's normal menstrual cycle is around 28 days, but the range varies from 23 to 35 days. To find out the first day of fertile phase, we have to subtract 18 from the shortest length of the menstrual cycle, and find out the last day of the fertile phase, we have to subtract 11 from the longest length of the menstrual cycle. To avoid pregnancy, woman has to avoid intercourse from the first day of fertile phase to the last day of fertile phase.